Good morning, all of you. So we have to, okay, this one. Today we'll discuss about the problems related to Biot-Savart law and its applications. Already yesterday we have started few. So today let me explore the other device, other current carrying instrument like solenoid, toroid. These are instruments are there due to which we are supposed to determine the magnetic field. So from previous class, what we learned based on that few numericals, what we discuss now. So we have to. There's a wire. You can see that one. There's a structure. A current I is flowing in this direction, and at point P we are supposed to calculate the magnetic field due to this current carrying structure. Look at these ends, they tend to infinity. You have to find out magnetic field at point P, that one. So what is the formula for according to Biot-Savart law? Mu naught I 4 pi d sine alpha sine beta. Look at this sine alpha sine beta, and let me break up this wire into two parts. There's a wire 1. I'll break up this. This is wire 1, 2, and 3. And due to 2 and 3, how much B bar at point P? Should be 0, no? Because any reason, the point P lies on the axis of conductor. There's a conductor, and the point P lies on the axis of conductor. Similarly, point P lies on the axis of third conductor. This is like a semi-infinite wire. 3 and 2 are semi-infinite wires. One end is at infinity, other is at finite point. And the point P lies on the axis of a conductor. So what should be the field? Field due to at P, B2 and B3 should be 0. Means due to 2 and 3. Only due to 1, it will be non-zero, and that we are calculating here now. So mu naught. Perpendicular distance, I think the formula according to this is what the perpendicular distance, this A will become equal to D. That A will become equal to D, so write 4 pi A. Come for sine alpha. So how we are measuring sine alpha, sine beta? Sine alpha is 60 degree, no? Plus 60 or minus 60, what we can write it? Plus 60. What about beta? Minus 30. No, not infinity, that one. One end is at 60, other will be at minus 30 degrees. So there should be mu naught I 4 pi root 3 by 2 minus 1 by 2. Okay, just wait. Some direction of current based on that. The direction of current is, I didn't notice. Okay, let me put it again. Look at this one. Which will be alpha now? Alpha will be 60, minus 60. Beta will be plus 30. Any reason for that? Current I is upward. If current I were downward, what I have done earlier, it would have been nice. It would be correct, that one. So it is like here alpha will come. So if you are getting confusion, so you can do like this. If this is the, we take this is alpha, this is beta, no? So beta what happen is plus 30. What about alpha? Alpha is measured opposite to beta. So therefore alpha will be negative now. So this will be sine of minus 60 plus just do be careful related to that. So total will be mu naught I 8 pi a 1 minus root 3. Okay, this should be the answer. Huh? So just be alert. So the field due to 2 and 3 should be 0 because the point P lies on the axis. So that alpha beta, you have to be very careful about in what sense you are measuring.
Sir,
Okay, no, yeah.
sir, in that question, alpha equal to 30 degrees, we have to consider, no, sir, because uh, when we take a rod, the current is flowing I in that direction. Then the upper part is known as alpha, no, sir. The uh, the line connecting that
Okay,
point
okay.
to the upper part, alpha equal to 30 degrees, we have to consider.
Wait. So it is a point there, no? There's a line, no? So the alpha, okay, alpha will be minus 30. Yeah. 30 beta. Okay, upper, this will be upper, we'll do one thing, P1, P2 if I write it. Alpha will become minus 30, yeah. Alpha will be minus 30, beta will be 60. Minus 1 by 2, root 3 by 2. So root 3 minus 1 will come. What about direction? Direction should be out of the plane. Upper end, no? P1, P2. I just made correction, just do notice. Huh? I take the next one. Yes. This is alpha. Still okay. I think you keep one diagram in the end. Beta is what should be 60. No, there's a reference line. Say I'll draw a reference line. There's a reference line. So is what there's a reference line. And any angle below reference line is beta. Any angle above reference line is alpha. So what is alpha now? Alpha is measured below reference line. So alpha should be negative. Okay, this one. You take there's a reference line. Based on that reference line, what happens? You can categorize what is alpha and beta. Very important this one. So just take different other set of numericals and try practice few of them. It'll be useful for you. There are one segment of wire. This is, it lies in y minus x plane or x minus y plane. The other segment of wire lies in yz plane. So this should be like a infinity, semi-infinity. So what is the magnetic field strength at point O? So first 1, 2, 3. There are three parts are there, no? 1 B bar. Okay, we'll write it directly. B1 bar plus B2 bar plus B3 bar. So what is B1 bar? Will be along negative z axis. So mu naught I 4 pi r minus k cap. What about B2? B2 should be quarter circular arc, mu naught I 2r. Theta is how much? Pi by 2 by 2 pi. This should be into there should be it should he should make an angle y and minus x, no? Magnitude. Okay, first we'll do one thing. First, let me give only magnitudes. This would be B1. Quarter circular arc. So what is the magnitude of that? Will be B2. Next, again, B3. Due to B3, it should be mu naught I 4 pi r. It should be equal to minus I cap. Now, what is the direction of B2 now? should be directed along x minus x minus y plane, no? And it will make an angle of 45 degrees here. So the B2 bar, now we can define it is this everything you call say some, let it be here, B2 cos 45 minus I cap, B2 sine 45 minus j cap. So this you simplify. This will be mu naught I, pi will get cancelled. So mu naught I 8R. So take the resultant field B1 bar plus B2 bar plus B3 bar. Different segments of the current carrying structures will lie in different plane. Then you have to take the vector sum. Quarter circular arc, that due to total ring it will be along x-axis. Due to semicircular it will be along point of that one. Due to quarter circular open, it should make some angle between x and y. It will be making an angle 45 degrees. B3 direction minus I cap. The y lies in zy plane, no? And B3 like old, put current, put thumb in the direction of current. The fingers will be along negative x-axis, right hand thumb rule. Or take help of Biot-Savart law. Semi-infinite wire. It should be along x-axis here, along negative x-axis.
So can you once scroll down?
Oh.
Okay.
Okay, read the question. There are two long parallel wires are at a distance d apart and carry equal parallel currents I in the same direction as shown. The wires are located on y-axis, normal to xy plane at y equal to d by 2. The separation between them is d by 2 from the origin. So at what point the magnetic field will be maximum? First, draw the lines of force due to long wire. B bar due to individual wires has to be determined first. So this will be the x-axis, y-axis. Let this be the x-axis. Now there is a one wire here. Both carry current in same direction. So another wire. How many lines? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. D by 2. D by 2. So let it be at a distance. So let me choose a point P here. How the B bar due to this? Let me take this a first wire, this second wire. B bar, so we'll do one thing, we'll take the position vector, and we know that it should be perpendicular to this one. So this you call this position vector the R2, this R1. Of course, R1 equal to R2. And how B2 bar should be due to second wire? It should be perpendicular to R2 bar, no? So here the vector will come like this. Similarly, okay, this is 1. So what I shown is B2. Similarly, we'll show for B1. B1 bar should be perpendicular to R1 bar. So it will be like this. Don't show in the direction of that. So at least it should be such that yeah, let it be. So I suggest you take 2-3 wires, keep them, and try to search the different point in the field. Or if you're getting confusion, draw lines of force. And if you draw a tangent to lines of force, you'll get the direction of B bar. So these two should be perpendicular. These two should be perpendicular. So look at that green color and that one. B1 should be perpendicular to R1 bar. B2 should be perpendicular to R2. This is very important. Many problems are related to idea of related to this one. Now let's define some angle. So what is theta now? If I define this is theta, this should be the theta, no? If this is theta, 90 minus theta, then this should be the 90 minus theta. So shall we take this is theta? Trace out the angles, very important. This should also be 90 minus theta. What is DL bar? DL bar will be into the plane. No, it's a long wire. No, they are. The wires are into the along parallel to Z axis. The wires are aligned parallel to Z axis.
You kept current coming out of the page.
Current, I took it like this, no? Yeah. Dots are given, no? Anyway, like into the, with respect to current out of the plane is what we are shown that B bars.
Sir, we take DL bar in the direction of current. So DL bar should be out of the plane.
Hey, simple, draw lines of force. If you draw lines of force, how it will be? It will be like this, no? These are black color lines of force. So here I can draw a tangent. If this is R, it's O, no?
Okay.
See, you first have a clarity. Lines of force will be concentric circles. If you draw a tangent to circle, is what you'll get the B bar. No, finish. Or no need to bother anything. These are long wires. B bar due to long wire, the lines of force. Take help of that and predict the field. That is the only thing which will help you a lot. I am telling this one. So don't think mathematically here. Better take help of practical approach. No. B bar due to long wire, concentric circles. Here you have to, what you should do, here you draw a circle. Like that you draw a circle. So the circle will come like this. Draw a tangent. Similarly, you draw a circle for I1. Again, draw a tangent. Okay. And now calculate the resultant field at that particular point. So B1 should be equal to, say anyway, like this R1 equal to R, R2 equal to R, let this be X. The magnitude of field strength at point B1 equal to B, let it be mu naught I 2 pi R. Resultant field, this one more vertical line So this should be 90 minus theta. This, yeah, keep it known. In which components will get added up? Vertical components only. So this angles, how much it should be? 90 minus theta, 90 minus theta. Definitely the angles all, you have to be careful. So vertical components will get added up. So the B bar will be resultant B dash. So here B should be equal to B1 cos 90 minus theta plus B2 cos 90 minus theta. So this should be equal to 2 mu naught I 2 pi r cos of 90 minus theta. Okay, now bring it. So this should be the sine theta mu naught I. This is pi r sine theta. Now write down what is sine theta. Bring in terms of bring x into the picture, then differentiate dB by dx. This will be theta, no? So sine theta will be x by root of d square by 4 plus x square. Substitute that here and solve the equation. So this will be b is equal to mu naught I pi r x by now dB by dx equal to 0. Anybody value of x? A very important problem. So any concept can be linked with this. When you have two wires, the field sum will be maximum. Maximum in the sense increases, becomes maximum, then decreases.
D by root 2.
Root 2, huh? Check it once.
D by 2, sir.
D by 2 it should be.
D by
Yeah. And you can calculate that maximum field. So here it will be maximum. So definitely what happens as you proceed, the field will become there. As you move away, the field increases, becomes maximum, then decreases. Any problem can be linked with this. You have to be careful. Always I suggest you whenever you get a wire, no, so have that concentric circles, the lines of force. With the help of that lines of force, what happens? You try to predict the direction of B bar. You'll be on safer side, and B bar should be perpendicular. And this is very important. And there are, I think, 10, 15 numericals are there which are linked with this idea. Okay, take next one. I think this is similar to earlier what we did. We have current you have to calculate magnetic field at the origin. So take the segments 1, 2, 3, and this is 4. Due to 1, mu naught I 4 pi r out of the plane j cap. Due to 2, only magnitude I'll write it. So mu naught I 2r pi by 2, 2 pi. Due to 3, mu naught I to R pi by 2 2 pi. Due to 4 it will be 0 because 4 lies the point or the origin lies on the axis of the fourth one. So again B2 bar you have to write it. And these are very popular, can be asked in advance also. You check it like almost 3 years past from 2010 onwards, you check it. No, plenty of times asked for various combination of structures by Savet law. Next 12th one. What is the field strength due to all three wires will be same. So it's better like the triangle you draw it, and lines of force, take help of that one. Don't fight with the formula here. Take help of the lines of force. I inverted all. I'll draw the thing. So there are three conductors. So current here, let it be out of the plane. Long wire, current is out of the plane. So get the direction of forces here. So some rough diagram, and is asking you the centroid, no? Centroid will take it. So related to that. The distance between the lines of force should increase because the B bar will be non-uniform. It's a rough diagram. This is the I think now with the help of this, you try to check it. So the centered centroid, let it be here. Will be 0. Yes, in fact. Just a very good idea for you. How B bar directly you take help of that medians. With the help of medians, you can predict how B bar should be perpendicular to this. So exactly the median it will come. So perpendicular. So here you are going to bring one perpendicular to this, perpendicular to this, perpendicular to this. So immediately now take help of this triangle. Now it will be with this one. So B bar, this you call 1, 2, this is 3. This will be B1 perpendicular to this. Then the green color one perpendicular to this, perpendicular to this wire, B3, perpendicular to this will be B2. So what will be the angle between them? 120 degrees. And what about the magnitude? The length is same. So the length, if you measure from A, take this is B, C, and let this be O. OA is equal to OB equal to OC. So magnitudes are equal. So therefore, what is the resultant field? Will be 0. You can do that mathematically, or take help of lines of force. Will be much easier. You have to be very careful for exams. Small ideas based problems. That sharp thinking is what needed here. Take the next one. Now look at the point. The point lies at a distance A by 2 is what is asking. So there's a point P you can take. Where is the point P? On the axis here. The magnetic field due to current carrying square loop of side at point located symmetrical at a distance A by 2 from its center. So you can, even for square loop also, we can call that as axis. So what is that dotted line? You call this is axis here. On the axis at a distance A by 2, and let this be the center O. So we'll construct this is square. So let me take this is A, B, C, D, O. Okay, and this is P. These are distances which are needed for us, and also or later on we'll draw a plane diagram. Now let me take only AB. This is P, this is A, this is B. Convert as a 3D diagram, no? So try to solve this problem in 2 different planes. It'll be easy for you. This will be A by 2, A by 2. And O will not come here. AB wire side. So this distance should be equal to that we have to determine. So call this is R. So these angles will be, let it be alpha, beta. So what to calculate due to one wire? So it is here, that is I. Let's get into the problem. This distance is a by 2, no? This distance is a by 2, and how to get that value of what is R actually? What is R actually R? So I'll introduce one point Q. So that will be inclined here, no? This is what actually R. So you'll get one triangle here. Q, O, this is P. This is A by 2, and this is R. If you want time being, you write it X. Later on, we'll change it. So they'll be easy for you in calculations. So which one is what, that one? Now what is R square equal to? A square by 4 plus X square. So now we know value of R. If you know value of R, can you calculate the field strength at point P due to this? And we don't know alpha. So can we bring the alphas here? Alpha is what? So again for this, we need this length, and R is what? Depends on this one. So let's write all the form. First, what is the field strength at point? Let me write all the equations one by one. So R is equal to A square by 4 plus X square. Then if I know, then I can sine alpha, cos, I think sine alpha, sine beta are needed. Let me take this is S, that one. So what is sine alpha? Sine alpha will be A by 2 and also sine beta. What is S is equal to? S is equal to A square by 4 plus R square. Okay, now further R square you can.
Sir, what is the distance X in this, sir?
X is the AP, no? AP and BP.
They have given A, no, sir.
AP is not equal to A, no?
Okay.
Yeah. So substitute now value of R square here. Substitute value of R square from here. So you'll get S. The value of S when you substitute, you are going to get the value of sine alpha, sine beta. Then what we get is magnetic field due to wire AB. 4 times of that. There's a magnetic field. But he's asking the net field. How this field should be directed.
Downwards.
So it will make an angle. No? So suppose if you take this is the wire. This one, and the point P will come somewhere like this. I'm asking you, you stand here. So this will be the point P. This is R. And This is O. So this will be A by 2. This is X. So how the field due to this should be downward? This is due to AB wire AB. Check it now. So this will be the case will come. So you call this as B. Then resultant field has to be calculated. So due to all the wires, again, it will be of similarly downward only. So horizontal components will cancel. Only vertical components will get added up. So call this is theta. If this is theta and B should be perpendicular to R, B should be, so 90 minus theta, this will be theta. I think I've given enough diagrams to mu naught I root 3 pi A. Wait. Answer, no? Wait, I'll give the value.
C option.
A option, huh?
C.
C will come. Okay, then I'll check once. I'll check and confirm. Somewhere missing, I think. Yeah. 2 mu naught I root 3 pi A. Option C will come. Okay, let me go for calculation one by one. A square, R square will be A square by 4 plus X square. So the value of S will be root of A square by 2 plus X square. So now,
They gave X as A by 2. Sir.
what happened?
They gave X as A by 2 now. Sir.
I'll substitute because all A by 2s will get confused. That's why just in the end I'll make it. In the end we'll make it that one because A by 2 all the confusion will come. That's why I just made that as X. So now you got the value of S. Substitute here, get sine alpha, sine beta. Then again in the formula B equal to this B equal to mu naught I 4 pi R Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Some technical problem came. These are the two rings are there where the plane of the rings are perpendicular to each other. So B bar, so separate them. You do one thing, separate like this. The B bar due to this will be like this, and other due to other ring B bar. So what is the angle between them? 90 degrees. Related, you have to take it. You do have some questions where they'll be inclined at an angle. This is I2. Last problem. Just see once. Convert, make this problem into, try to view this particular diagram through different planes. View it in different planes. That's all. The only thing is, so now if you see in one side, it'll be like this. No, APB, one triangle, you draw it. And these are the line joining the point P with the ends. It will make an angle with the distance R, perpendicular distance R. So that is what alpha beta, that is what you have to substitute in the formula. This is the one thing. Then again, you look at the triangle QOP, you stand here. And again, what when you look at the stand here and the current will be into the plane, no? Into the plane. And the field produced by this at this particular point P. So we can take approximate rough diagram. Like this is one triangle. Then like that open, due to all four sides, the field will make certain angle with vertical, will make some angle theta with vertical. So horizontal components will cancel out. Only vertical components will get added up. So 4b cos theta. What is b? Now due to individual, any one side you take it here. So we don't know R, we don't know S. R you can find out from this triangle, from triangle QOP. So x equal to a by 2 we know, so we'll get R. Then how to calculate alpha beta? Then for that we should know S. So again take help of this triangle. S square equal to a square by 2 R square. Substitute value of R from this triangle. You'll get S. If you know S, then you can bring the cos alpha, cos beta. So sin alpha, sin beta. Substitute them here. You'll get B due to one wire, one side. Then vertical component should, horizontal component will cancel out. Just drawing, trying to view that. Say whenever you get a 3D diagram, what is the best way of analyzing it? View it in through different planes. This is the only thing available for you. So suppose like I think you might have seen advertisement in newspaper. Suppose a car is there, no? How they show? Car is a three-dimensional. They show front part, side part, top part. No, any reason for that? The diagram what happen will give more information for us. So the 3D object what happen, best way of studying 3D object means try to weave it in through different planes. There's the one scientific approach is what is needed. The plane of the loops will make an angle theta, that one. So this is the plane. The planes will make an angle theta. The plane of the loop will make an angle theta here. So there's a loop, you will give the current I1 and I2. Due to I1, it should be B1 bar upward. Now, what about the due to I2? If it were, it will be like this, no? B2, no? Okay, that is same symbols I'll use. It'll be easy for you. This is B2. This is what? B1. Try to look at I made some corrections. Due to only the ring 1, finding difficult, draw individual diagrams. So how the B bar should be upward. This particular ring, the red color ring, so B bar should be in this direction, no? B1 bar. Look at angle between B1 bar and B2 bar. Plane, this is what theta given for us. The angle made by the planes, theta is the angle between the planes of the ring. So where the theta here in the vector diagram of B1 bar, B2 bar, you are going to introduce. This should be theta, no? Or the other angle should be the theta. The angle between them will be 90 plus theta that one. See, when so you do one thing. For you compare this with this diagram. How much you should rotate the ring I1 so that B1 bar should be horizontal. B1 bar should be horizontal. 90 minus theta. This much of angle you should rotate, no? So therefore, this should be the theta. This should be the 90 minus theta. So this will be theta actually. So angle between them is 180 minus theta. Then write the vector form b1 square plus b2 square plus 2 b1 b2 cos of 180 minus theta and solve the problem. So you should be very careful about the small ideas. These things we are going to use in mutual inductance when we go for EMI chapter. So the resultant B bar, the formula should be b1 square b2 square 2 b1 b2 cos of 180 minus theta. A semicircular wire. Current, you can assume current here, not mentioned. Okay, let it be in this direction. Instead of asking at the center of the semicircular wire, is asking at point P. This is the O. Okay, try this. I think guessing not possible. Huh? We should fight with the mathematics. I think, do we have any formula to find out the field? Do we have any formula? First of all, no, there's no formula. So then what we do, take help of Biot-Savart law, assume a small current element. Assume a current element. First define the field due to current element at point P. Then take help of the mathematics, how you can bring the quantities. Okay, let's take the circle. Yeah, fine. So let's take the point O. So here the current I. Let me choose a current element here. Let it be dl. So this distance is what we have equal to r, but he's asking something at point P is asking. Take this one. So let this be the point P. So let this be the point O, A, that one. So let me, where I picked up current element, let it be A. So here, this is theta. This is theta, this should be theta by 2. This should be theta by 2. Now this is R bar, no? R cap, what all you want. AP bar will be R bar, position vector. Because here there's a current element, IDL bar. So, and what is the angle between current element and the position vector? I think that angle is what needed in Biot-Savart law. So this angle, let me call, say some alpha, I'll write it. So what is the angle between R bar and IDL bar? Is alpha. It's the angle is what needed. So directly now write the Biot-Savart law equation. dB is equal. Then we'll come to know what to do. Mu naught IDL angle between current element and R bar is alpha sine alpha by 4 pi R square. So what is R square? PA is R square. PA is R and OA is capital R. So how OA and this will be? The angle between OA and this dotted line, this will be a tangent, no? Tangent drawn to the circle. So definitely what is alpha? We can write it as 90 minus theta by 2. Because theta by 2 plus alpha should be 90. Because this is the normal, no? And there's a tangent. What is the angle between normal and tangent for a circle? 90 degree. So here theta plus 2 alpha equal to 90 degrees. So alpha equal to 90 minus theta by 2. So bring R also in terms of theta from the basic mathematics and manage the problem. Now what is DL? DL should be equal to R d theta. I'll draw one more circle. This is what? DL equal to, from looking at this, DL is R d theta sine of alpha is 90 minus theta by 2, 4 pi R square. What to replace with R? Smaller, 2R cos theta by 2 whole square. Anything you can apply. So here I'll write it 2R cos theta by 2. Substitute this. Let me write that also. Now solve this. Now what should be the theta? Limit
minus pi by 2, pi by 2.
Minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, or you assume one more symmetric element. One more symmetric element, 2 into 0 to pi by 2. So let me put limit as minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2. This is theta equal to 0 degree line. Anybody value? Wait, I'll check the question. Yes, I think options available or not, I don't know.
mu naught I by 4 pi r log of root 2 plus 1.
We'll check it here only. Options available, no? Mu naught I 4 pi r log of root 2 plus 1. Yeah, that will be. So this should be the final answer. Mu naught I 4 pi r log of a field somewhere at a point other than the center, no, semicircular wire can be asked. So you should be very careful about the mathematics, nothing to do with physics. So always stick on to the Biot-Savart law, that angle between current element and R. Those things are what you should make observation. The rest all after that mathematics. So that angle between current element and position vector, that has to be designed properly in the problem. If you can identify that, rest of everything will be very easy for you. So what is alpha? Basically angle between current element and position vector. Similarly, the same application problem, I'm bringing one more. I'm testing your mathematical skills straight away, your pure mathematical skills, because what is the physics here? Biot-Savart law. It's over. So always do remember that angle between current element and position vector. That is what very important part in the numericals. You should, if you go wrong there, I think the total problem will go wrong. So that particular aspect, when it comes, you have to be a little bit alert.
Sir, that is b by pi or a plus b theta by pi?
A plus b by pi. B divided by pi. All no, it is b divided by pi into theta. This is theta. If you want, for your convenient, you can change the direction of current. Only the magnitude will change, direction of current at O will change. Okay, fine. No, take this one.
So mu naught I by 4b ln a pi minus b by a pi plus b.
Mu naught I.
Mu naught I by 4b into
Oh.
ln a pi minus b by a pi plus b.
No, will not come. 1 plus b by a, something will come like that. No? Log of a plus b by a.
A plus b by a.
No, log of a plus b. 1 plus b by a. Only that much. Huh?
Yes.
Again, take care about that current element. Biasert law in that current element. So here if you current element. Let me take small element. So let me choose. So first, let me have this diagram. Yeah. This current element here, you assume a current element. This one. The center of the ring. So here, will it be arc length? Will it be equal to r d theta? It should be. But look at this one. The center of the ring is somewhere here, no? The center of the ring of the semicircular ring will be here. This is what we defined O, that one. The center C should be somewhere here. So that, and let me assume a current element. So current element, let it be equal to dl. So r d theta. So if I take this triangle, oh, okay, this argument. So you just make it a thing, that one. So if it were a circle, no. So about how to get that current element. So let the length of this current element, let it be dl. High dl is what? Our current element. So here I'll take the small, and this what I draw diagram, this is very important. Let me take on this. So this should be the arc length. So if you take this is theta, this will be r d theta. So what is that? This will be d theta. Is it okay? This one. So here, so this length is what r. This length is what r. This is dr. No, look at why we should assume like this here. Why we should assume like that? Because as you move, what are the length here? R equal to a. So as you move, what should happen to r? The radius should increase, no? With respect to o. With respect to c, it will be same. Able to make it out? This will be, so what is dr? So what is dl? Dl is what? This one. So just to bring that triangle, I just brought it here. This is what the dl. So that green color strip, what we are writing, no? So that is what? This dl. So take these angles, no? So let this be the alpha. Some will define it. Then what is the angle dl? So this will be alpha. This is pi by 2, no? What is our purpose? We have to define, and current I'm not showing. I don't have space much. High current I will be flowing. So what is the angle between current element and dr bar? Dr bar, our position vector will be like this. IDL will be like this. So what is the angle between the position vector and IDL? Alpha plus pi by 2. If you can get this diagram, I think restore everything could manage. So how to get that alpha is what? Further we'll try that one. Okay, so identifying that one. So that green color is what I'm showing, the DL. So this is what the length DL. Okay, let's write the Biot-Savart equation. dB bar is equal to mu naught I DL bar cross R bar. IDL, it is 4 pi R square. So R cube, in the vector form I am writing it. If you do write R, what is R bar? R bar you can write R into R cap. So actually it is R cap, no? R cap what you can, R bar by R. So in the vector form, it will be mu naught I dl bar cross R bar by 4 pi R cube. Now what is the angle between dl bar and R bar? You can see that one, sine of 90 plus pi by alpha plus pi by 2. This will become mu naught I dl R so this should become mu naught IDL 4 pi R square cos alpha it will be. How to relate the cos alpha to this one? So what is DL now? So cos alpha from triangle, what is cos alpha will be? R d theta by DL. So replace that cos alpha here, dl get cancels, so we'll get theta, then substitute the limits. Okay, fine. So only this part is very important. The triangle which I shown, this one, this part. So in all the numericals, the priority should be for current element, angle between current element, and position vector. Rest all everything we can manage. The basic Biot-Savart law should be applied properly. Cos alpha you can write next step. Mu naught I dl 4 pi r square r d theta by dl. So dB is equal to, I'll slide up, mu naught I 4 pi r d theta. So differentiate this. So here r is there, no? Better to differentiate this one. dr is equal to b by pi d theta. Yeah. So differentiate this. dr is equal to b by pi d theta. Substitute that. D theta will be pi by b r dr. What should be the limit? A to b, a to a plus b.
B will come, sir, in denominator.
Denominator b will be there, no? Yeah. Whatever direction, into the plane, put that also here. Okay, these are some math-based questions you have to be careful for exam. Final exam advance mains, I don't think so this much of length can be asked, but advance can be asked. You have to be careful. Okay, now we'll take the next instrument, solenoid. We'll discuss some. Okay, now we have a very widely used equipment called a solenoid. The same solenoid, I'll call that as a inductor. Here in magnetism chapter, no, we are calling it a solenoid. This will called as inductor or just a coil. How we have resistor, capacitor, no? For magnetic field, to store magnetic field energy, we use an instrument called as a solenoid. Again, solenoids are of different kinds, like how we have resistors of different shape, capacitors of different shape. Even the solenoids again will come of different shape. We'll going to discuss few basic things. How to make that solenoid. You take copper wire, nothing big. You take copper wire or a simplest thing, the spring which will be there in the pen, no? Nowadays what we have in pens, that spring is nothing but a solenoid for you. That spring is nothing but solenoid. Here the turns will be very closely wound. What I do is I'll take a wooden rod, I'll take a copper wire, thin copper wire, and I'm going to wound it. So when I'm wounding it, the turns will come in contact. For that, what to do is like a wooden rod will be taken. Then first one turn I'll wound it. Then I will put a, because it should be insulated. Practically, this is what actually the winding will be done. Here open, I'll be having a brush which will be dipped in an insulating liquid. With that brush, what happen? I'll just paste like this. Then I'll bring another turn. So here what happen? It's a liquid, no? So a very thin layer will be formed on the wire, and the two wires will come in contact. Between the wires, what happen? There will be a thin layer of insulating liquid will be there. I can't bring any solid material. Liquid will be much easier, no? This was the basic mechanism. I think they may test you with, because based on the lab, even in lab also, we are going to work out a solenoid one experiment. So definitely they may test you with this one. So this is what happens here. So what is this? This is not a solid, it will be liquid. So there's a wire, one first turn, there's a second turn. Otherwise, if the turns come in contact, no short circuit will happen basically. Between turns, what happens? There'll be a thin layer. So that layer is not a solid. So what I do is, first I'll own one turn. You can take one finger, clear this, take cotton thread, put one turn. Then you apply water or some any color liquid. Then put another turn very close to it. Almost they're in contact. But between them, what happens? There's a liquid what it is being put. So in this way, what will happen? The turns will be insulated and they're brought in contact literally. Here in the diagram, it's visible, but practical open, they are in contact. They are in contact here. So how closely they are wound, a better will. Otherwise, what is the reason? If the gap between the turns is there, no, from here open, the field will escape it out. Leakage of flux will occur. This should not happen. So there's a method. That's why you can see the turns. I'm not showing any gap. I'm not showing gap. All this description is missed in books. The reason that student will go to the lab and he will hold one solenoid and he'll come to know. There's no necessity to describe in depth in the textbooks. That's what they felt like that. That's why no description is there. But in exam, this is missing in textbook. So definitely they'll ask you. So turn to turn, there's no gap is there. What actually between them? An insulating liquid will be present. This is what happens. There's a insulator layer, thin insulator layer. Like this, I'm going to wound it. So you do one thing, take any wire, copper, iron, aluminum wire, you wound on fingers. You wound in such a way that almost the turns are in contact. Take it out. It become like a spring, no? That spring is nothing but a solenoid. The spring, what in mechanics you call spring, no? The same spring, if it can carry current, it becomes solenoid. So how to represent that? So there's a 3D diagram. So current here will enter. So you can show that one, and current can come either way, no? Either way. So therefore, current clockwise, current entering the solenoid anti-clockwise, they'll mention. So based on that, you are supposed to assume the diagram. Clear this. So then, how to represent a solenoid? This is about the physical diagram. Let it be there. It will be useful for you. This is the if a current enters, look at for this particular thing only, I'm showing it current here. So let this be the point P1, this P2. At P1, what you expect, the current is coming out. There's a physical, there's a electrical circuit. The solenoid we show like this. So here it should be out of the plane current. So now direction of B bar is the direction of current here. And what about current? These are into the plane. It is as good as like a ring, no? This will be. And how the field due to solenoid. Here will be current will be out of the plane. This will be into the plane. So the field due to solenoid between that will be in this way. And we'll define this is the axis of solenoid. This will be the field between the solenoid. So how the structure of solenoid, the volume of solenoid, shall I say it's cylindrical? A very important device. What all we say magnetic devices, no? It's nothing but a solenoid. How we have electrostatic capacitor in current electricity, the resistor. For the magnetic fields, to deal with the magnetic field, we need a device called as a solenoid here. So these are the lines of force and this is the axis of solenoid. This solenoid, it will have a length. This will have a length of solenoid called small l. Then we define a radius. This is called as radius of solenoid, aligned R. So this having a radius 2R, the physical length L, this one. And now the current can enter in anti-clockwise, no, through a solenoid in the same diagram. The current can enter anti-clock, current can come out. So how to represent another, the same solenoid? So here current is there's actually the diagram what it will be. So here current is no, this is the current. So if you stand here, then what you see, current is in clockwise, no? If the current is anti-clockwise, the same spring, you draw it. So current, let it be anti-clockwise. So this person what will comment? Current anti-clockwise. What this person says? Clockwise current. So they will give rough diagram. They say that the current here with on the axis of the coil, you'll see that current is flowing clockwise and you are supposed to assume a suitable diagram. So this will be the how the field. So this should be the current here into the plane. Here will be out of the plane. How the lines of the same what we drew earlier. Only the direction of arrows will be in opposite. And this we are not bothered field outside the solenoid. We are bothered about only field inside the solenoid. That's the axis. So that okay, no, so that the direction of B bar current like a clockwise in the helix, anti-clockwise in the helix. They don't give in detail diagram. You are supposed to make assumption. Just what they explain. No, with that you are supposed to assume that okay, this is what happens, and you have to proceed into the problem. And now we have to find out the field on the axis of a solenoid. How much will be the field on the axis of a solenoid? This is our condition. I'll write it here. Now, shall we assume that it's made up of rings? And for this solenoid, what is very important? Number of turns, no? Let n be the number of turns here. Then is having a length. So I'll define quantity called as number of turns per unit length. So what this should be equal to? Total number of turns by length of solenoid. Length of the solenoid means not length of the wire used to make solenoid. The physical length or the length of the cylinder. And then so usually what happens, a solenoid is more powerful if it is having the ratio of in a given small length, if it is having more turns, then it's said to be more powerful or it produces more field. Let's go for calculation of field due to solenoid. You can assume in any direction. So these are the circles. There should not be gap. For our understanding purpose, I'm showing gap. Practically what happened, they are in contact. You have to be careful with the conditions. What are these? These are the turn. Current enters here. Here current it will be leaving. So that will be the axis of solenoid. Let's calculate the mag field due to solenoid here. Where on the axis we are supposed to find out. So let me assume a strip. So this strip contains some n number of. So let me take this as a reference point. So this is a dx, no? Let this length be equal to dx, that one. So this dx turns will contain dn number of, dx length will contain dn number of turns. Let the length of solenoid be, let it r, and let this be the radius r. Capital R will take it. This is the axis of solenoid. So again, the method, so what we are going to take help of Biot-Savart law. There's no other way, only Biot-Savart law is what we can take help of. So let this strip be at a distance 6. Let this be theta d theta. Let's write the equation for Biot-Savart law. dB bar, where we are calculating at point O. dB bar at point O. dB bar is equal to mu naught. How many turns? dn number of turns are in length of dx into I. What we are doing actually, what formula we should apply?
Ring.
The ring you have to assume, not the Biot-Savart law. I said using Biot-Savart law, again you can assume a small two equal and opposite elements, find out. So instead of all that, what happened, already we know what. It's like a ring, no? So you call this yellow color strip as elemental ring. Elemental ring of dn turns. I think it's over. So what is the formula for the ring? Mu naught dn I, radius is what? R square by 2 r square plus x square. What is x? We have defined it. What is r? Radius of solenoid. So let me define the ends now. So the ends, so this will make an angle beta. This angle is alpha. Alpha beta I'll measure with respect to this line. This is what? Theta equal to 0 degree line. Tan theta, what we can write, x by r. So what is dn further? dn, how to define dn? N dx and tan theta equal to, so I can replace x equal to r tan theta, then dx I can write it as dx equal to r secant square theta d theta. Let me substitute all this. dB is equal to, or here, mu naught n dx I r square 2r square plus x square. Substitute all the values now. Mu naught, number of turns per unit length, into dx is r secant square theta d theta I r square by 2 r square r square tan square theta to the power of 3 by 2, no? It is. Simplifying all, I think r square here, r cube will get eliminated. Then 1 plus tan square theta will be secant square theta, secant cube. So I'll end up with directly only cos theta d theta. What should be the limit for this?
Minus beta.
Minus beta to plus alpha. What we did earlier for long wire, the similar method you can apply it here. Minus beta to plus alpha. So this is the value of b bar. So I'll end up with mu naught ni by 2 cos alpha plus cos beta. So this is the expression for magnetic field inside the solenoid. So what are alpha,
Sin
beta?
alpha plus sin beta.
Integral, no? Yeah. What are alpha, beta? Where we have found out this, the field on the axis, no? Can we modify this for any point or only on the axis we can find out here? Okay, there's a mathematics. So let's just explore that one. So this is the solenoid. Now I want to find out the field at this particular point. So for that, what I should do, I'm going to define the alpha and beta like this. To define that alpha beta, what is needed? So we have to, there's a vertical line, I'll take it. So here, what is alpha? Alpha is what? This one, no? And beta is this one. And this need not be axis. Huh? This dotted line need not be axis. So if I know this distance, y1, and if I know this x1, and I know length of the solenoid, I know L minus x, or L minus x1. So this is at point P1. Is it field, will it be uniform inside the solenoid? So how to calculate beta? Beta, I think from here, so you locate that at what point P1 and at what distance we know length of the solenoid is L. And so calculate this distance Y1. So from Y1 and you know X1, you'll get the beta. And also similarly calculate alpha because L minus X1 we can calculate from here. So substitute in this formula, you'll get the field. So like that, as you move this point inside the solenoid, so what is the value of alpha, beta? They're going to vary. So the field inside the solenoid will be uniform, non-uniform, will be non-uniform. There are two types of solenoids are there. Short solenoid, again, long solenoid. So what happens in the short solenoid? Short solenoid means the length will be less than R. And the B bar inside the solenoid, B inside the solenoid will be non-uniform, which we are not going to discuss for, we are not going to take for any application. Next, for long solenoid. Long solenoid means not length tends to infinity. L greater than R. Suppose the length is say some 30 centimeter, not like 100 meter. That much of long electrical equipment will not be there. So length is say some 30 centimeter. Radius will be say 0.2 centimeter. Definitely L very much greater than R. This was the long solenoid. In the long solenoid, B will be uniform. B will be uniform at the nearby center of, at the nearby will be uniform nearby center of solenoid. It will be non-uniform at the center of solenoid will be non-uniform, will be uniform, that one. So for long solenoid is what I'm interested. So the long solenoid or the field, we have to show this. Practically, we can check it that one. Almost for long solenoid, no, the field will get constant. So in this region, what happened? The field will be constant. So these are the length. So this is the lines of force. We'll take it here, and current will be into the plane. This will be the lines of force. So in the middle region, it'll be, so if I plot the graph, if I plot the variation of graph, the B bar, somewhere in this region, we take it to be constant. Again, it starts varying. And it'll be 0. So here at the exactly, there's the length of the solenoid, no? Here it will be mu naught Ni by 2. Inside it will be mu naught Ni. These are the at the ends. So how you can say mu naught Ni? So put alpha, beta. So what is the formula? B equal to mu naught Ni by 2 sine alpha sine beta. For long solenoid, so what are alpha, beta? Will be pi by 2. So therefore the field will become mu naught Ni. Where that mu naught Ni? Somewhere nearby the center, means in this region. Not throughout the solenoid. I'm making things clear. And at the ends, how much it is? At the ends, mu naught Ni by 2. Any reason for that at the ends? You come to the end. What is alpha? One will be, beta will be 0, alpha will be 90 degrees. According to the formula, if you bring this point P here, alpha will be almost 90 degree, no? And beta will be 0. So let me show that. See, it's an instrument which will generate a field which is used in almost 90% of applications. This one and toroid. Now the point where I'm finding out is, this is what the B bar. So it's a long solenoid. So take this. So the point P. So what is alpha? Alpha now tends to, and beta is 0, no? Alpha is pi by 2. Beta is 0. Clear this, and alpha will be almost equal to 90, that is. So then the magnetic field will be, magnetic field at point, here write it. Should be equal to how much? Mu naught Ni by 2 sine 90 plus sine 0, which is equal to mu naught Ni by 2. So what is the field at the ends of the solenoid? Will be off that at the middle. Off at the midpoint, that one. And not everywhere inside the solenoid. The field will be increased. And even outside also will be non-zero. Outside also will be non-zero. So there's one basic use of this particular formula. Means how to calculate. We are more interested. What all we do applications now, we'll be doing applications in this region. I'm making things clear. Again, you should not confuse yourself. A field inside the solenoid, we know non-uniform. We are just going to work out our numericals in this region. Here will be non-uniform, which will be of no use. Field will be varying, which will be of no use. So this particular field is what we'll be taking help of. Okay, even if a charge particle is projected in a solenoid, means he's asking to discuss the problem. If he mentions specifically at the ends, okay, take it. But otherwise, you have to, inside the solenoid means you should focus here only. Okay, now can we find out field outside? Because at the ends we know. So there's a point A, no, the field. There's a point A we calculated. Then what about somewhere outside, totally outside the solenoid? We'll finish off this. It'll be useful for you. Now, where is the point? The point is lying outside the solenoid. You can check it. It should be less than mu naught ni by 2 according to the graph. In fact, it will come. So how to define alpha, beta? One alpha, you can see like here it will be. This will be alpha and this should be the beta, no? And what is R difference? So if you look at the triangle, small things which are missing in book can be stressed because nobody is bothered to find out the field outside the solenoid. But you check the advanced questions, no? Some questions ask where the applications he has made outside the solenoid. Unless you don't know the field outside the solenoid, you can't do the problem. That's why I picked up this question. So there's a point P. So what is this angle? 45 degrees. So this is what the beta, no? And how much beta? 45 degrees. What about the alpha? Alpha should be how do we measure alpha with respect to this vertical line only? So this is the point P. This is what alpha here, and this was the beta. And this is R, this is the length of the solenoid. So what is alpha? Alpha tends to pi by 2. Beta will be minus pi by 4 or minus 45 degrees according to the convention. Beta, sorry, okay, it comes here. Just I'm making some correction. Beta, I should measure like this, no? Beta. So in that formula, mu naught ni by 2 sine alpha plus sine beta. So mu naught ni by 2 sine 90 plus sine of minus pi by 4. So we can pick up this option. So it should be less than mu naught ni by 2 minus 1 by 2, 0 0.7, 0 0.1 minus 0 0.7, 0 0.3. So definitely it will be less than mu naught ni by 2. So I can justify the graph, what we have. The field at the end, mu naught ni by 2, further as you move on the axis outside the solenoid, it must decrease. So the field should not be zero immediately. Is that graph okay? Should not become zero immediately. Should decrease. Gradually decreases. Okay, here also I can ask you some numericals outside the solenoid. Okay, tomorrow we'll continue from here. Huh? Thank you all of you.